Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be talking about streaming for the Nintendo NX, full game streaming. Now, there was a couple videos last few days by a YouTuber by the name of Picky Old Gamer, which I will give a link to his channel and his videos in the description of this video. Basically, the first video he did was talking about how he got some exclusive information about the NX, basically saying that the NX is some kind of a data center cloud service that will work on multiple devices, including PlayStation 4. And he made some connection with the NX name being what the part of the name of what the NX 3DS browser runs on. And he alluded to other people mentioning that the NX could be a streaming device. Now, a reminder though about that was that people were speculating on that being a streaming device for the NX, because there was that survey that went out about 4K streaming and 900p upscale, that kind of stuff. So his point was that the information alluded to a data center being the Nintendo NX, being able to stream your game right to your home. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember him saying much about the NX being a console, even though Reggie and other members of Nintendo have mentioned that the NX is a home console. So take that for what it is. And then yesterday he posted a video about how Nintendo is using Amazon AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and using Amazon EC2, which is part of Amazon Web Services. And I gotta give him great props for figuring that out, because he pinged the IP address for my Nintendo membership, the IP address Nintendo uses, and he pinged it and it links up with Amazon Web Services, AWS. So great job, Picky Old Gamer. That was really cool that you found that, and I gotta give you great props for that. He was speculating on that video, basically saying could Nintendo be using this Amazon as a network for streaming games basically worldwide, because the network is already there, right? So taking all that into consideration, here's my point of view on this. I'm not saying my point of view is better than his or anything like that. It's just my opinion, so take it for what it is. Basically, let's go back to what Sony did with the PlayStation Now. They bought a company by the name of Gaikai back in 2012. They spent nearly $400 million on Gaikai, which was basically the company that started game streaming years ago. They bought the company outright, and they started up their own servers, around Japan and the United States and other countries as well. It's not worldwide yet, but it's getting there. And like I said, $400 million just to buy the company, and they are streaming games on PlayStation Now right now. So game streaming definitely is possible. I'm not saying this is not possible, but my difference of opinion comes in where Nintendo is involved. You see, with PlayStation Now, streaming games is limited as far as bandwidth, especially latency, and the availability of it. Okay? Now this is already after Sony has spent close to $1 billion on maintaining this service over the past 4 years, with very differing results from different consumers worldwide. Some people have experienced extreme lag with the service, input lag when pressing buttons. It's all depending, of course, on your network. If you're using Wi-Fi, direct connection, where you live, all those things come into play. And most of these games are being streamed at 720p on PlayStation Now. I've searched the internet for 1080p 60 frames per second. I haven't seen much on that for PlayStation Now, but if you are able to get that to be streamed at 1080p 60 frames per second, let me know. But I haven't been able to find anything that says that it's currently doing that on that service for Sony. That experience is very limiting. Okay, so if the NX is going to be a data center that streams your game to your home, how much enjoyment are you going to be getting out of that kind of service? Say you're playing Smash Brothers, say you're playing Super Mario Brothers, say you're playing a different fighting game, something that requires precision with button presses. And you know how Nintendo is with their controls. They want to have very, very fine-tuned controls, reaction-based button presses, inputs. So if you're playing a game that has lag in it or latency problems in it, there's no way that Nintendo is going to have a service like that that causes that kind of disparity with gameplay. Case in point is already there's button lag and input lag on PlayStation 4 controllers. There's been experience, people have reported experiences of button lag in their own home with a game running on the PlayStation 4 with the PS4 DualShock 4 controller. Can you imagine how annoying that is already? People having problems with that and having input lag in a game that you're being streamed to your console or to your TV or whatever, however they would do it. Let's throw that out the window for a second. Say Nintendo has the NX as a console and they offer this streaming service as well. In realistic terms, Nintendo is not going to spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on a service that is proven to not be very effective as of right now. PlayStation Now is not the most effective way to play your game. And to give an idea too, they would not just be able to use Amazon to host their game streaming, you see, because Amazon Web Services is not a game streaming platform. It's not developed that way. If you do some research on how Amazon Web Services is run, it's meant for storage, it's meant for serving virtual servers. So like, holding your ID, holding your profile information, hosting, websites and other, connecting different servers together basically. It's not really made for streaming exactly, as far as definitely not for games. It's not built like that. And what I mean by it not being built like that, I mean it's not being built, doesn't already have, data centers that have games that are being run on them that can be streamed out into the world. Okay, they don't have that infrastructure right now. What they do have is deals with Netflix that they can stream video online in a cloud-based service. However, streaming a video or movie online is completely different than streaming a game. And you're going to say, how's that the case? It's still data being transferred. Yes, that's true. But when you're watching a movie, there is no latency that you have to worry about. You're watching the movie. You're not controlling anything. You're not pressing any buttons, right? So to give you an idea, what Nintendo would need to do would be monumental. It would be a monumental task that they are currently watching Sony do right now. Nintendo would need to have these data center servers running these games in multiple different places, many different places throughout the world. Why? Because those data centers need to be close to your location in order to stream the game as with the least amount of latency as possible to coordinate with your button presses of your controller. You want to have a lag-free experience, like it's right there with you from your console. If you have a very laggy experience from having a faraway server, you're going to press a button and you won't see anything happen on your screen for a few seconds. And there's really no use of playing a game like that. We already have lag problems in games like Call of Duty, for example. Say somebody lives in Los Angeles, just as an example, and they just happen to live right next to some Call of Duty server where they have really high-speed internet and they have everything connected to a grid right there. And then they're playing against someone else, across the country who lives in Montana. And maybe the person in Montana has a great internet with a 100 megabit internet and they have 5 gigahertz modem. But the server for Call of Duty is maybe like 150 miles away. So guess who's going to win in a one-on-one match? It's probably going to be the guy with the better, latency or better ping to the server. Case in point, you see a guy playing online and he shoots somebody on the screen. They shoot, nothing happens. The guy turns around, shoots him once, he dies instantly. Why? Is because he's lagging. The other guy has already done that on his screen, but you can't see it on your screen until you see the replay, of course. Can you imagine trying to play a game already like that's already having some lag issues, and then trying to stream the entire game on top of it and play multiplayer? It's just not going to work. Not at least at this time period. Okay, so like I said, Nintendo is watching Sony attempt to do this right now with limited success, in my opinion. Granted, some streaming of games could work. It depends on the type of game, like MMO type games, turn-based strategy games like Fire Emblem could work, maybe an Animal Crossing game could work. Something that doesn't require you to have Twitch button presses, basically. But Nintendo's own games that they make themselves, like Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario Maker and definitely Smash Brothers, the network and latency just isn't there yet in this day and age to be able to deliver the kind of experience Nintendo would want for its consumers to enjoy. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. They can't do it yet. It's not possible. Even if Nintendo purchased the best computers and data centers in the world, put them all over the place, in every part of the world, spent billions of dollars in setting up this worldwide cloud service for everybody to have this great, latency-free experience. Even if they did that, I guarantee you that the customer themselves would not be up to that standard yet either. Because, believe it or not, the majority of people out there don't have the highest speed internet there is. In the United States, for example, the majority of people have, a middle grade internet to lower grade internet. Guys like us on YouTube, we got the biggest internet there is. We're trying to upload videos, we're downloading stuff all the time, we're right on it. We have real high speed internet. Like I have 100 megabit internet, 5 gigahertz modem. I upload at 30 megabits, so I'm fine with my internet, but the average Joe out there doesn't have that type of internet set up automatically because they don't need it for anything really. They're browsing the internet for basic stuff, checking their email. The majority of people are not having the highest speed internet there is. So even if Nintendo purchases all these data centers and gets things really close to your house, on top of that, you still have to have a better internet to have a lag-free experience. Then on top of that, all your devices that you have that maybe have some interference with Wi-Fi, you still could experience dropout in your service. It's simply not quite there yet for this type of service to work, in my opinion. The supplemental computing device that Nintendo has patented, something like a local network, could definitely work better in a case-by-case basis. And that patent for the supplemental computing device that we have discussed on this channel before, the purpose of it was to increase GPU and CPU acceleration for future games and to increase networking ability locally. So I can definitely see something like that for Nintendo branching out and developing its network from the inside out. Spending all this money, millions and millions, even billions of dollars doing this worldwide network from the outside in is not something Nintendo does. Especially since they are just trying to launch this new console, get it into as many people's homes as possible first, before trying some monumental task of building their own network by themselves and purchasing all this bandwidth and purchasing all these servers and purchasing all these computers basically to run these games for everyone to play. And then have the best, streaming internet as possible for the consumer, which will not be as good as they would hope. Does that make sense to you guys that Nintendo would do that? I don't see it happening. At least not right now. Not for at least a few more years, if not longer. For Nintendo to actually have a streaming service that would be lag-free, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. But like we say, technology is enhancing all the time. Internet's getting faster all the time. Bandwidth's increasing. However, you simply cannot, at this point, have a video game play in your home. You push a button and have it react on screen instantaneously. It just doesn't happen. You can't have that streaming wirelessly or streaming from the internet. You just can't have it there just yet. The only way you can have the best control and input possible without any lag would be to have the actual system and game running on the hardware itself in your home. So those are my arguments against that. It's just my opinion, but I just don't think it's realistic at this point for Nintendo to invest so much money into something that's unproven at this time. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys very soon in the next video. Take care.